Corrector's Commentary with Cameron Lauder and Alex Stacey.
Hey everybody!
Hi out there.
We're back
We are.
with a new name because our previous name was taken. You will remember this podcast possibly if you've heard of it before as Down in Front, but it is alas no longer.
Mm-hmm.
We are now Corrector's Commentary.
Which we really hope is not taken.
Yeah, we Googled it, but
Yeah, it seemed safe.
we'll give it a shot. And you know, if we get a C and D, then well, somebody noticed.
Mhm.
Senpai noticed us. Excuse me. So what are we doing today, Cam?
Well, Alex, today we are looking at Aliens, the director's cut.
Ooh, yeah, we're continuing on the series. We started this podcast with Alien, 1979, and we were moving on to its sequel, which I really like, and Cam really likes, for almost entirely different reasons.
Yeah, whereas Alien is a wonderful horror movie, Aliens is basically a technically perfect action movie.
Yeah, it's real good. It's like, it's weird because they managed to pull off, you know, a good film in almost an entirely different genre, and well, they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we have a lot to say about this movie.
we do. So I'm gonna try and do the instructions again, which I cribbed from Riff Tracks. So we are watching the special edition, which has all the deleted scenes, which we're gonna talk about because there's some scenes that are good and some scenes that are maybe should have stayed on the cutting room floor. But anyways, that's the edition we're using. I think it is the current one. You can get it wherever. So if you have a copy of this or acquire one, what you want to do is put it on, press play, and you'll see a 20th Century Fox logo come up. Once that completely fades from the screen, oh wait, I forgot the first part. Pause us when I say pause. And then once the 20th Century logo has completely faded to black, unpause us. And we're not going to be doing anything too time sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if it does seem like we're slipping out of track, I pause and unpause on either the podcast or the movie, and it should sync us back up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And just for convenience sake, we're also watching the film at 103% speed.
wait,
Just
what?
for additional
Oh, wow.
hilarity.
No, why would you do that?
Yeah,
That's the
amusement
worst.
factor.
Okay, so on 3, I'm going to tell you to pause, and then unpause us once the 20th Century Fox logo has gone all the way to black. 1, 2, 3, pause. And here we go. It's a lot of black here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the timeline is going up. Maybe it's Brandywine. There we
Yep.
go. Brandywine. I wonder what else they did. I can't remember.
Well, I think it was James Cameron's production company for a while.
It is a James Cameron film.
Mm-hmm.
Big old Jason. Ooh.
Yeah, started with the heavy brass.
Hi, Sigourney Weaver.
So, like, we're melding a couple of musical themes here together that we'll hear later on.
Mm-hmm. The John Williams did this
No,
soundtrack?
it was, what's his name? This
Okay.
almost destroyed the relationship between the composer and James Cameron, though.
Really?
Yeah, because James Cameron had a very short timeline
Oh.
for this film.
Ugh.
And I think the score was composed in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So we go from like the Colonial Marines music, melded with the Aliens music, to a theme cribbed from Khachaturian's Guyana ballet, the Adagio from the ballet.
Sweet.
Yeah, which also turned up quite a lot in 2001, if you remember. So not a bad thing to play with. Just the escape pod from Nostromo.
Yeah, we pick up exactly where the previous movie left off.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Give or take a decade.
more like 5
Mhm.
or 6.
The
So James Cameron wrote this as well.
Narcissus, I think, is the name of the escape pod here.
So they've advanced compositing techniques a little bit. That actually looks really good. I don't know what they did to in terms of restoring this film.
But Lots of really solid practical effects.
Mm-hmm. Inside of the cabin, all frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Because last we left our heroine, she went into hypersleep and sort of pointed in a direction and said go.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sleeping with her cat.
This will also be an interesting contrast later with the interior of the Sulaco, the marine dropship, or the marine transport.
Beep, beep. Oh ho. Proximity alert. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately we just have a shot of, this huge force that is all of a sudden taken notice.
Yeah.
We hope it's a good thing. Somebody's investigating.
Mm-hmm.
Dat welding.
Yeah, of course, the music was done by James Horner.
Ah, right, James Horner. Wonder how they did that option or that effect. Whoops. Clunk. Invasive robo arm. We're going to see a lot of liberal use of smoke in this movie. Oh, wow. Right, this effect, which is actually just a laser scanning across a surface.
Yep.
And as it cross-sections the smoke, it looks like liquid, kind of. It's a really simple but kind of sweet effect. Can you imagine how much that laser thing must have cost to rent?
Oh.
Or probably build?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like gasoline. You know how it makes that pattern?
Oh, yeah, the surface swirling.
Human contact. Who are these guys? We'll probably find out in a second. They don't look too scary. Well, maybe.
I like the details on their suits. You know, the logos and things.
Yeah, well, I mean, they look very industrial. They're designed to look like what, they might actually look like, which will make sense. Kitty! So they're kind of bummed, and we immediately know exactly what their role is. That's a nice dissolve.
Nice fade from Ripley's face to Earth. Kind of the weird I love my mom thing that these James Cameron's 80s movies have, from Terminator to this.
Yep, and here we are in giant space stationopolis. Oh, man. I love these sets. Because, they look more advanced than, what was around at the time, but not, going crazy off the rails with it.
Well, also just contrast again this set with the ones that we've seen, the escape pod interior. This is artificially white and clean.
Yeah.
Look at everything in here that can be white except for the things that absolutely have to be because they're color-coded.
Yeah, because it's
it's almost celestially clean.
Yeah, this is a hospital.
How drugged up was that cat?
So drugged.
Also, I like this space suit. Burke's space suit just has a popped collar, which, for those of us watching today, we recognize as code for a douchebag.
Douchebag. Uh-oh. Burke's got a spoiler for you. She wants answers. 57 years. Denial. Excuse me. Here comes the anger.
So, yeah. Imagine waking up and it is suddenly 2071.
Yep. Uh-oh. Kitty. Some sort of... Uh-oh. This is a really short movie. I like the water glass sort of emphasizing the chaos of the situation. This is the Aliens theme? Oh boy. Whew. It was all a dream.
Yep.
And yet, it works in this situation. Usually that's like a cop-out.
Yeah, it's very contrived. But here...
It's articulating a point, and they use it, I think, 1 or 2 more times before the movie really gets underway to just really underscore how traumatized
yeah, exactly.
Ripley
From
was.
one trauma to the next.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting epigraph on the script to Alien, which is cribbed from Conrad, Joseph Conrad, from Heart of Darkness, that says, "We live as we dream, alone."
So this is one of the deleted scenes. Yeah, this wasn't in the theatrical release, and it was cut. And this is one of the scenes that I actually really like.
Yeah, I think this is one of the deleted scenes that works extremely well.
Yeah.
And helps to characterize Ripley quite a bit.
Yeah, it really sort of, I guess, foreshadows some of the stuff that happens later.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also fleshes out her character.
Mm-hmm. You will be playing her daughter in Alien Isolation.
Yes.
So that's exciting. Blah, 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 bureaucracy. I love how direct she is. He's just like, give me the straight goods, you douche.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you said, like, Burke's character is set up almost immediately here. Like, he's just a red tape spewing bureaucrat who talks a lot and, you know, sort of obfuscates, you know, his motives a little bit through just rambling on and on and on. Just like me. Oh, dear.
She also died very young.
Wait, what?
Said she was 66 at time of death.
Yeah, I guess young for the future.
Yeah.
Oh, this bit coming up is just heartbreaking. Damn. And then right back to the Inquisition, because they're like, what happened to that ship you had?
Yeah. And then again, we're also going from one picture of a dead person to another, to more pictures of dead people.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what do you want me to do? Whoa, that's a lot of money. Some elements.
Weird anachronisms. Ashtrays.
Oh,
Styrofoam cups.
Shit. So I like the recap of the first movie without actually doing a recap.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like explaining things in a way that, you know, ostensibly is exposition, but not in a way that like beats you over the head with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, James Cameron is very good at making films.
Yeah. I love that line. Designed by a real weirdo.
We miss you, H.R. Giger.
We do. So you get the Cliff's Notes from the first movie and the very beginning of this one. I like the hand reaching in trying to take the papers back. Just like, I need those. It took forever to print on this dot matrix printer.
Uh-huh. This speech is also exclusive to this version.
Is it?
Yeah. In the theatrical cut, it just goes straight
Darn it.
to the case closed.
Oh, good. No criminal charges. Psychiatric technician. So sterile.
Yeah.
Boop.
It goes straight to that.
Ah, okay. I don't know. How much do you think that adds?
Not a lot. About 20 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, God. Here we go. Shake and bake colony. That arm block. Just blank shock. It's like, oh, fuck.
Here we go into a really questionable edition, in my opinion.
I do not like this at all. This is one of those things that I really seriously think they should have left on the cutting room floor. Like, it's implied that this happens,
Right.
but like just having it happen, I think really takes the punch out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're about to see is the colony that was just mentioned.
Encountering the alien.
Yeah, encountering the alien, which I really think just diminishes the punch later when they arrive and the place is trashed and empty.
Yeah. Seeing it active doesn't really add a whole lot to it. And also, they explicitly say that they went in on company orders to retrieve the alien.
Yeah, it
like they were sent off. You know, he mentioned specifically that they're being sent way off grid to look for this thing. So
Yeah, you lose some ambiguity there.
Yeah.
However, totally sweet props and sets again.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like all these costumes are really cool. These people just look like,
I mean,
working people.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a drag that this entire sequence, as amazing as it is, like really ought to have been cut and was from the theatrical release.
Because it's actually like it works well as a scene on its own.
Yeah.
I love the sweat stains on their back. Like that's a wonderful detail.
Mm-hmm. Don't ask.
Like I'm pretty sure I've worked in this place.
I think everybody's worked in this place, which is why I really like these sort of inclusions, is like because it gives you something you can identify with. Also, look, the children.
With Wayland Yutani branded like toys.
It's pretty creepy. Oh, Wayland Yutani.
I never noticed the magma before.
Oh shit! No, neither did I. I mean, they said that LV-428 was a rock. They're in my dune buggy. I mean, like, again, this sequence implies a lot of cool stuff that's not necessarily useful. It's like they said it's a mom and pop survey team. So like they've been here so long that there's people just going around prospecting for stuff. So it's all routine. And they're going there as a family. Also, hi Newt, what's up?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a bad day.
Did this have to be Newt? Right?
Yeah, it's just like it telegraphs it too hard. Don't go in there.
Like, I totally understand why this was filmed and why it was cut, and I also understand why it was included in the director's comment or the director's cut.
Yeah.
Because any chance to use this thing again is
like,
really awesome.
Exactly. It's like it's good to see this, but for the sake of the narrative, it really should have stayed on the cutting room floor.
Like, it takes us away from Ripley. It breaks that narrative entirely. It robs the tension from when you arrive at the colony later with the Marines. And it removes any ambiguity that Burke had about his motives.
Yeah. I mean, there was someone I spoke to one time about screenwriting philosophy, which was I think the basis was you write everything that happens and then choose what parts you reveal. Because like all this stuff happened in the narrative, but you only show the parts that are important and relevant. Or rather just like that have the most impact. Yeah.
Well, I mean, also other important things that we see, or pseudo-important, interesting things, are that the prospectors here are going out without the spacesuits, right?
Yeah,
They
well,
just have
there's
eye
atmosphere
protection.
now.
Yeah. So we go from those beautifully designed Mobius or Mobius designed spacesuits from Alien to like just you need eye protection. And
Yeah,
some
because
high
I mean
vis.
it's a crappy planet now, but you can breathe the atmosphere. Just regular goggles.
Because there's stuff blowing around.
Yeah. Doop doop doop. What's up, sis? Also, this scene goes on for a long time. Because you have to transition in time. You're implying a lot of passage of time, and it just like, I think it kills the momentum of the story. Because then you have to like get back to what's happening with everybody else. They've been gone a long time. That's what that dissolve is for. Ruh-roh. And here comes that scream. The old glass shatterer. And again, you see the monster too soon. Oh, I love this bit.
Yeah. The amount of stillness implied in the length of this ash.
Yeah, it's just like she's been sitting here and has completely been lost in thought. And you like I have such a thing for subtle stuff like that.
It's a very efficient means of conveying passage of time. Where before that, like the scene immediately before that was
and it was also like state of mind without saying a thing. See ya. Because I sent them there. Pause. Oh dear. In reasonable fashion, she's just like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not going back there. Because, like, for the purpose of the story, she has to. But the
why
character...
would she ever want to?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, We need you to go. Okay. And a lot of movies that I see will do that. The character will just act in accordance to what's required by the plot without actually being like sent on that tangent through their motivation.
Also, do you think it's a misstep that they just state that they've lost contact with the colony? Because that implies that it happens very quickly. Like, without anyone being even able to send a message.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It just like suddenly goes off the grid. I mean, there's also the idea of, what...
Yeah, that there was a cover-up, right?
I didn't think about that. I was going to say, like, what interspace communications is like.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I guess it also implies that sending a message is very expensive, as they were just talking about in that previous scene.
Yeah. Also, right here, Burke's passive aggression, also setting up that she knows how to drive a loader, which is also further reinforced later. So she doesn't just randomly use the power lifter at the end. 'Cause it's like, no, you're actually certified, and you know what you're doing. So he tries to make the offer attractive, and she's still just like, fuck it. What a dick. Holla at me. I like the transparent business card.
Space business
Space card. Need to smoke more. And then cat. And then immediately into this. And we know exactly what nightmare she's having because we saw it already. So it's like she really doesn't want to go, but well, so unable to sleep and at the end of her rope. Thinks about it.
Well, and has been thinking about it.
Yeah. Implied introspection.
Space phone.
Yeah. The brevity of this call is so sweet. She calls him up at like 2 a.m. No. Uh-huh. And hangs up. She's like, what am I thinking?
Before you have a chance to back out or second guess yourself.
Yeah, she's just like, I gotta do this. Oh, good, because I like that little reference to the end of the first film. Just like, I am not dealing with you, cat. The Sulaco.
Totally sweet-looking spaceship.
Whoosh. So you immediately, it's like, this thing looks powerful and majestic, and it's like, we're going in with guns blazing, and we're gonna tear up some shit.
Every possible surface covered in guns.
Yep.
The ship looks like a gun.
Yep. This sort of slight contrast to the beginning sequence of the first one, only this time, again, you see it like...
Yeah, instead of drinking birds and...
Yeah, further emphasizing the role of the ship. It's just like, look at all the weapons they have. It's like all this hardware and just, they're going to... just pan right across these bombs they have or rockets of some sort. Oh, hey, powerlifter. Always with the hanging chains.
Very Hellraiser.
And Instead of a drinking bird, they have this weird toy. I guess that's a thing that they just do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's another reference to the first movie. It's just...
But maybe this is just something that people who work in space do.
They probably do. It's just like, haha, let's see, which one is still moving by the time we wake up.
Mm-hmm. I love all the dents.
I didn't even notice those the first time.
From like Marines being like
Marines.
Yeah, roided up psychopaths.
Kill.
I'm gonna punch this door.
Crunch.
Or I guess just becoming dented in the course of doing stuff.
All these peeps. Spunkmeyer. All together now. All the stuff to make sure that they're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Meh. I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to alien school. Merg. And... cigar! He just went to sleep with it!
Yeah.
The very first thing he does. It's just like, alright, stogie mode.
How can you not love all of these guys?
That guy's in charge.
I like his space hat with the bottom turned up.
Oh, man. There we go. So, this is something that my dad pointed out, because he loves this movie as well. The only misstep he saw in who these guys are, it was making them Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Marine Corps is historically extremely well disciplined. If these were just like army grunts, their behavior would make a lot more sense. Because they're soldiers, but these guys are, fuck arounds, and not just like an elite, military force that's just like all together. So,
well, apparently this made a lot more sense in the wake of like in the 80s when people were used to thinking of soldiers as being kind of ill-disciplined in the wake of Vietnam. And also I could also see this working in the context of a movie like Apocalypse Now, because these movies do borrow or at least make heavy reference to Joseph Conrad, and Apocalypse Now is based on Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
But like again, they're very quickly set up as being, extremely macho, very masculine.
Yeah. Well, and you also get like a lot of, early insight into what the characters are like. It's like one of them's the complainy type. You've got the boss who's in charge. Octurian Punte, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Do the thing. Go on, Lance Henriksen.
More 13-year-olds have lost fingers this way.
Yep. Uh-oh. Yep. People playing around. Trust me, he says. Do 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 do. And at this point, he just goes a little too fast to be believable as a person. You're like, that seems weird, but just a little weird. Maybe I imagined it. Rattled. And this is also going to preamble something else that's important.
Again, they're also set up as veterans. Gorman is new.
Yep. Whoops. And that immediate reaction.
Artificial person.
That's racist. nice misstep there. A few minor deaths involved.
Mm-hmm.
A bit twitchy. It's a reference to
Yeah, Asimov's Three Laws.
Yeah.
I like the later edition of the 0th law.
What's that?
A robot cannot, what is it? You know, the harm or by omission of action allowed to be harmed humanity.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So the collective instead of just the individual.
That makes sense.
Implying an expanded consciousness.
Mm. Here comes briefing. Them caution stripes, though. What the hell is on that guy's hat? So there's the experience again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the, in quotations, expert. Yeah, look at his hat. Sorry.
Yeah, they're like beads and braids hanging off of it.
Yeah.
So, well-disciplined soldiers are probably a lot more believable. They're probably much less interesting to write, act, and watch than these dickheads.
These chuckle fucks. Yeah, no, they're definitely more interesting, and like it makes it again more interesting when shit does hit the fan. They're like, oh, we better stop screwing around.
Mm-hmm.
Derp. Mm-hmm. On disc. Here we go. Mm-hmm. They're just like, what a pain in the ass.
Mom?
They're just like, fuck. Oh, he's gonna catch hell. Voosh. Yeah, the Sulaka really looks like a knife gun.
Yeah.
With extra guns on the side. Aimed at LV-428.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it doesn't have balls.
That's definitely not foreshadowing. And here we have the loader for the first time in action.
Mm-hmm.
So they built one or more practical ones, like full size here. And I think in a second we'll see the miniatures in the background.
Yeah. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a nice little detail.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a forklift, and they treat it exactly like a forklift.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason it's yellow and covered in caution stripes. I love how he chews his cigar.
It's so gross.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So now we find out that Ripley can operate a loader.
Mm-hmm.
With space boots. I love procedures like this. Just like really routine, something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just running it through like a test sequence that you would do to make sure that all the actuators are in place and, functioning correctly. As you would do with, any sort of hardware like this.
Mm-hmm. And you see her feet preceding the motion of the legs, so you even get a sense of how it works.
Yep. So that's the miniature in the background. Like her.
I like the super high altitude photography of the clouds in the background.
Yeah. Clutch chick.
Totally sweet space guns.
Mm-hmm. Based on the Thompson. And this was an MG34.
Yeah, with like bicycle
attached,
parts.
Motorcycle parts on the muzzle, and then that thing that it's balanced on is an actual
like camera gyro mount.
Yeah, it's Steadicam mount.
Mm-hmm.
And it functions exactly the same way with the camera. It just like stabilizes and takes the weight off of the user so they can move it more easily.
Interestingly, they also resist your movement.
So here she is looking at the ship. It's like, this is happening. I'm really doing this.
This
totally
is
sweet APC.
a tractor from an airport.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and they just retrofitted it with a bunch of sweet hardware.
Yeah. Every spare surface is covered with guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all of this setup of them being like ultimate badasses that can, take out anything makes the impact of them being utterly helpless in the next sequence just have so much more impact.
Well, I've read a lot of critical response to this movie where they talk a lot about Vietnam and the incapacity of modern militaries to fight insurgencies as being a theme in this movie. And I think it's much more simple than that. It's about how you can't fight the things that scare you with guns.
Yeah, it's like a nightmare. Like no earthly weapon can affect it in any meaningful way.
Quite literally, right?
Yeah.
Like this is Ripley's nightmare, and you can't fight it.
Yeah,
like
you can't
this.
shoot it.
You can't shoot a nightmare.
Yeah.
Right? No matter how hard we try to. The war on terror. This movie is surprisingly timely in that context.
Yep. It's like trying to, stage an attack on the sunset or darkness or something.
The Roman emperor who declared war on the sea.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a fool's errand.
Mm-hmm.
More procedures. I love the graffiti on their gear. Fly me friendly.
Or fly the friendly.
Oh, fly the friendly. Dem models.
Which was Pan Am's slogan, wasn't it?
Was it?
Fly the friendly skies.
I did not realize that. God, this movie inspired so many garage kits, it's nuts.
Well, I mean, everything in this movie looks really cool. All the Marines hardware is totally sweet.
It's cool, but it's also like not crazy over designed. Like it looks functional. Oh man. Going down. Whee! Meow. So I think there's another cut sequence coming up.
Yeah. Quite a lot of Hudson's speech is cut.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
I think I read somewhere someone commented that it meant that commentary references the strength and clarity of a signal that's being received.
Okay. In for some chop. Cut to extreme shaky cam. Used appropriately in this instance. He looks a little rattled. Simulated. So we find out that even though he's, new and outranks them, he does not have a lot of experience. Which, sorry, go ahead.
However, he also has a combat drop, even though he is brand new.
Yeah, but it makes him getting rattled in the
Yeah.
situation that follows much more convincing. Because he's just like, oh shit, I didn't train for this. Or I am, locking up under pressure. Get the cameras. Are they using cameras nowadays?
I don't know, actually. I would be surprised if they weren't.
It's actually a reasonable prediction of battlefield technology as it evolves. Drake, clunk. Yeah,
Yes,
this part.
the speech was cut.
Yeah, it's like I think everything that needed to be said about this character has already been established or will be established soon. Like it's just showing off.
That his vocabulary isn't very large.
Yeah. Which we won't use in the movie.
Well, basically none of their weapons are fired.
Yeah. Well, it's great because like they set them up to, have all this hardware and there's like, oh, A, you can't use it, and B, even if you could, you'd be fucked anyway. There's knives and sharp sticks. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like
90% of the weaponry we see in this movie is never fired. Because that's not how you fight this thing.
Yeah.
And this is about when I start to realize, as a child, that this isn't really practical. Like,
yeah.
I remember a story from Return of the King where Peter Jackson was commenting on the Witch King's Morning Star or flail, and the prop maker said he kept telling them to make it bigger, and so eventually the prop maker just made one that was ludicrously large, right? One that was so stupidly big that nobody could possibly lift it, that it was totally impractical, and he thought it was ludicrous. Peter Jackson looks at it and says, good, make it 50% larger. And that's the impression I get from a lot of the Colonial Marines gear, was that, okay, we coated it in guns, just like you said. There are surfaces that are not covered with guns.
Cover them with guns.
That gun could have a gun on it.
Yo, dog, I heard you like guns, so you put a gun on your gun. So here we go. This would be the first time we see the colony in the movie. And I think it's better that it's like sort of mysterious and quiet and empty. And they're just like, what in the fuck happened here? And so that scene earlier that was not in the theatrical release really sort of robs us of a lot of the suspense. Because we're like, oh, we know what happened already.
Well, I mean, even as an audience, we know what's happened here.
Yeah.
Everyone on this mission knows what's happened here. But they don't... We didn't need it explicitly told to us.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we know. The movie is called Aliens.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't need our hands held to be told that there would be aliens here eventually.
I like how the terraforming brings shitty weather with it. A ghost town.
That they are, by definition, utterly annihilating the ecosystem of this planet, such as it is.
Yep.
One interesting thing I thought in the culture novels was that the culture does not terraform planets, and they discourage other people from doing that because it destroys the planet. And so this place is just actually undergoing a complete ecological collapse. But it's one we'll find livable eventually.
Yep. Run a bypass, whatever that means.
Do the tech thing. Okay, I roll.
Here comes Frost. Frost is a badass. He's got a minigun thing.
That's actually Drake.
Shit. All right, move it in. What did the data book say about what the pulse rifles actually do?
They're just
Like
well, I've got
it's
the
like
Colonial Marines technical handbook.
it's like a
I'm coming
squad
out of the
automatic
closet
weapon,
here.
right?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
yeah. This place has been demolished. The pulse rifle is just basically a gun, from what I understand.
mm-hmm.
It fires electrically, so that's why it's called a pulse rifle. Whereas a rifle we have fires
Right, 'cause
mechanically.
Well, like they talk about the guns later firing caseless ammunition, even though in a couple of scenes you can see casings spitting out.
Yeah.
But that was the idea, because like caseless ammunition is initiated electrically.
Mm-hmm.
They could never really get it to work in practical sense. Like the Germans tried it with the G11,
Well,
and it was like,
is that the gun that only has like the one hole, which is the one the bullets come out of?
I think so.
You make it waterproof by putting a plug in the end.
Yep. The magazine is also just like a brick of square bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had some problems with like shelf life and feeding and various other things. It was just like it just wasn't practical. Small arms fire.
I like in the technical manual they talk about the smart gun being kind of like creepily accurate.
Oh, right.
You'll hose somebody down with it, and they'll have one hole.
You're just like, oh, that's good.
Why is this thing even automatic?
You were basically just only there to authorize it to fire.
Yeah.
So now they have the motion trackers from the first movie advanced and attached to all their guns.
Yeah. Although, why you would make a motion tracker that makes this particular noise is utterly beyond me, because it sounds like a heartbeat. Right? It's a brilliant piece of sound design on the part of the filmmakers, because it's explicitly like
It's spooky.
yeah, it's spooky sounding, right? It sounds like a heartbeat, and when you have a contact, it sounds like high, heavy breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guns sound like screams.
Yeah. Also, I mean, of course, they get in there and it's just like, there's nothing here. Where is everything?
It seems hastily abandoned and half exploded.
Yeah. And, they could have, just put eviscerated bodies everywhere. And I think that would have been just like less effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing in the first movie where they're just like, we just found his gun, no blood, he was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, what happened? And your imagination will come up with something way worse.
Mm-hmm. And also the timeline implied when they find a contact here in the next scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a blip. Nine meters. I don't remember what this says first time. Hamsters.
How long do hamsters live for if you don't feed them every day?
Ooh.
3 or 4 days, maybe?
Yikes. There's another thing implying the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee and half-eaten donut.
Mm-hmm.
See, you tell so much of the story through.
Like just the haste with which this place has been abandoned.
Yeah, there's no planning involved. They just whoosh gone.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's like there was an episode of the X-Files I remember where they find who they're looking for and they go to his house, and as they're looking through the house, a kettle comes to a boil.
Oh wow, yeah, that's just like you left in a big hurry, like a really big hurry.
Like 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yikes, that went a long way.
Anyone
This
who's
place is
watched
secure.
Archer will probably recognize the design of the armor that the Colonial Marines are wearing from the mini arc when they were on the space station.
Nice.
I thought it was a fun shout out.
Nice. Excuse me. Driving in our sweet ride.
Ghost ride in the whip.
Essentially. Oh, is this the bit I'm thinking of?
Oh yeah, where the.
Oh, this is so goofy.
Oh no.
Or-
That's later on.
Oh, right. They're just
Although
gonna
it
get
also
out.
does imply a certain standardized design.
Yeah. We'll mention it when it comes up.
Yeah, if it's the part I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Burke is cold as fuck. It's like, okay, Ripley, for the next 45 minutes, just be apprehensive all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The hesitation again.
A moment that was cut again in the theatrical release.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
That actually seems fine.
yeah. I think they just needed to cut like 30
Yeah,
more seconds.
she just had to pause for a second and then go in. I
Mhm.
don't think they needed that line of dialogue, but she's just like, here we go. Ugh, this place is fucked. It's like, okay, James Cameron's like, okay, build a set. Okay, second team, trash it. What do you mean, trash it? We spent a lot of time on that, man.
Well, it looks like very natural, but of course it's utterly artificial. Everything here they had to order in for the set,
Mhm.
right? Like looking through catalogs for air conditioners or junkyards for like HVAC units and
Yeah.
mattress frames.
There's a handful of household objects that you can identify in this movie. I think there's a few coming up
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like they turn sideways or upside down and it looks like a sci-fi prop.
Witness the power of 40 gigahertz of computing. 40 megahertz.
40 megahertz. Kilohertz. That's like a slide viewer right there? Or maybe a lathe?
Yeah, if you spray paint it white and give it a gloss coat, suddenly it becomes a sci-fi prop.
Yeah, it's like you get an air conditioner, rip the back off, and so that all the coils are sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
Oscilloscope? Wow. So again, like this is implying what happened. It's like that they were screwing around with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, did you see that?
Yeah,
that jump.
the
That
jump.
looked really, really real.
Yeah.
I wonder if she actually wasn't expecting that. So now her claims are shown to be true.
I wonder if the colony actually had this facility or if they had to rig it up in a hurry.
Maybe they had something similar, like for Ew,
Mom?
something that they just used. Yeah, they probably did just like cobble it together. It's like, well, we have these cylinders that are meant for carrying something. And now, moving right along, we get signal.
I kind of like how Frost has Heath, the name Heath, in a heart on his armor.
Oh, I never noticed that before. He'll never see his boyfriend again.
Mm-hmm.
What is this stuff? That looks like a microwave.
I think it's a an autoclave.
That would make sense. Whoopsie, jump scared yourself.
Why are you triggering yourself? Why are you triggering yourself?
I think your unit's a little too close together. Although maybe that's intentional. They're just like, oh, okay, so this is for real. Let's maybe be a little more careful.
Well, they're all kind of spooked.
Yeah. It's like they saw something weird that they have no context for, and they're just like, we're gonna get real trigger happy in a second.
I like Hicks actually firing from the hip here. Isn't he supposed to be like have held a gun before?
Maybe. Just unloads. He just gets like chastised. He's like, why would you do that? You nearly shot a little girl.
First off, it was point blank. How did you miss?
I am astonished he is not hyperventilating. Come here, sweetie. Don't be afraid of the man who just shot at you. Yeah, it's like... Arr. So you immediately get to see how she's still alive. Because she's clearly worked out how to, move in the ventilation and,
Like-
under everything.
Yeah, just under the floor grills.
She's like a rat person.
Also, you get an impression of how the aliens probably got into this place.
Yeah. Her little rat's nest. It's like, holy shit, look at all this stuff. Box of rations,
Yeah.
some rudimentary bed sheets,
Yeah, like a sleeping bag.
various little knickknacks.
Don't stand up.
Crunch. All the little necklaces. It's just like, oh, I may as well make this place pretty. It's like, who knows how long she's been here? Actually, yeah, how long would it have taken them to get here after losing contact?
Well, here's me putting on my giant nerd pants again. The technical manual talks about like their tachyon drives for their starships, so it doesn't actually take too long, but the reason they go into hypersleep is to prevent aging due to the fact that they're going faster than light.
Oh.
Which is like, sure, space reasons. Gotcha. That's actually kind of cool.
Yep. Rebecca Jordan.
Second grade citizenship award. Is she a second grade citizen?
Maybe. Let's just open these shutters. They probably weren't closed for any reason. I'm gonna lecture you. It's like, are you seriously gonna like interrogate this total brain lock? I can't imagine why.
Yeah, no.
Ugh.
Gorman, not terribly bright.
Nope. But
Not only like inexperienced, but also not very smart.
Yeah. Also, just like the shell shock is, really tells you a lot about. It's like, oh, maybe we don't even want to know what happened. So yeah, this is why the scene in the beginning, with her finding out about her daughter, I thought was like a good addition. It's just like, I miss my daughter. She would have been about your age.
But she doesn't say that ever.
No. But we know that.
Maybe she's not even aware of that. Although it's difficult to imagine her not being conscious of like that. But I mean, like in some situations, you just aren't.
Yep.
Apparently, this computer does not have Control F.
Just full screen. Just like zoom out. Mumble, mumble, newt. he did. It's a weird name. I killed an alien one time. It's a severed doll head. It's my only friend. Yeah, over there and here. And a bit of him's in that air vent. So, yeah, she's trying to get the same information that, was it Gorman was trying to do, but she's taking the subtle approach and actually getting results.
Also appears to be doing so, out of concern for Newt.
Yeah.
Rather than
Just
curiosity.
Like, the mission. Blech. Sushi. I brought you all these cassette decks. Hello. So I guess there's a little bit of ambiguity here. You know, it's like whether or not Bishop is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, do the same thing that Ash did, whether Bishop is trustworthy.
Yeah, he's like a little bit of an unknown quantity. Mm-hmm. And just like a couple of looks like that, it's just like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Is this foreshadowing? I'm not sure.
Well, I suppose it actually makes you a bit more trusting of Burke, because it implies that Bishop is a mole of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Burke just seems kind of incompetent.
Yeah. They're not paying us by the hour? Vroom vroom.
Right. This is the part we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
With the turret on the top of the APC.
Yeah, they've got like these twin 20 millimeters in, a turret mount, but you have to drive through a low clearance store. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with that? All right, they pack everybody into the APC. Surprised there's room in there. Can you imagine how that place must smell? Ugh.
Like ozone.
Oh, this place, yeah. Access ramp.
Oh, the interior.
Yeah, the interior of the APC. Weird. Just goes around the back.
Probably like downcycled cornbread at this point.
Ugh. Disgusting.
But I do like how the APC seems designed to drive around in this place, right?
Yeah,
or this place has been designed that there is a certain standardized vehicle size. Yeah. And that while the Marines do act and talk ill-disciplined, they do seem to be very professional in their actions.
Yeah.
Right? Like the speed with which they kind of move around here and the deliberateness with which they move, barring Hicks firing from the hip and totally failing to hit Newt.
It's like when they're doing their job, they do their job. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here or would no longer be doing this job. It's like the guy at work who's like a total a-hole, but he does, really effective work. Mm-hmm. You're like, I hate you, but these spreadsheets are beautiful. You piece of shit.
Then again, I also have never really interacted with anyone who's done this kind of stuff before, so maybe I have no idea, and these guys are utter scrubs.
Yep.
But apparently they did go through boot camp. And, oh, that's right, the actor who played Gorm... After all the actors who played the Marines had been going through boot camp for weeks, they introduced the actor who played Gorman.
Oh! That's cool. It's like, what is it? Ruh-roh. Oh, boy. This stuff.
That's weird.
So, I heard an anecdote about some people who got drunk one time and were wandering around in, I don't remember where it was, out in the desert somewhere, I think. And they came across a facility and then this. And they realized later, after they had fled, that it was the set from Aliens left in place that they had stumbled across when they were out wandering. Because they were supposed to tear it down and ship it away, but apparently it's just still there.
Huh. Now, see, one, I love that the aliens are kind of clean and tidy. That all of this stuff is like them terraforming. They've terraformed the terraforming machine.
Yeah.
But like, it's not super goopy in here. They're not commenting on the stink.
Yeah. Secreted resin. Looks like the inside of a rib cage. Good advice. Here we go.
Does anyone else notice they seem to be pasted to the ceilings?
Yep.
Space gun, gotcha.
Yep. Which Ripley has probably had some experience with on the Nostromo.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say nuclear?
He did.
He's the spy. So he doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives a dumb sounding order. So that little thing she's holding there,
Yeah, it's a power clip.
it's actually a
Oh, right.
a rubber, like a rubber bullet toy gun.
Really?
Yeah,
Neat.
it's this goofy little thing that we had one of them for a while, and it like folds up, and you put these little like rubber pellets in the front, and you squeeze it, and it uses air power to shoot them. But it looks like a sci-fi prop. So they hit it with black spray paint and some silver dry brushing. I like that he just has a shotgun, because he's a practical guy. Yeah, the tracker sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's keeping you on the edge of your seat. There's
And like all these very practical looking props, right? Like their shoulder lamps suddenly now just contribute to the atmosphere, right?
yeah, but they're there for a reason. Oh boy, so that's what happened to them all. You don't want to watch this. Mommy's watching her soap opera. Or the late night movie. All the sort of like frozen expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. So often, like, the absence of something is more terrifying than the presence. I mean, assuming you pay it off later.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it on.
It's interesting to see that the lessons people try to take away from this film, like, don't show the monster for like over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't why it's scary. It's not scary because we aren't introduced to it. It's scary because it's a well-made film.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with some kind of arbitrary time limit on how long you have to wait before you show what's happening.
Yeah. I am not going to be all right. Oh, wow. Ripley doesn't need to see this. Foosh. Real flamethrowers, by the way.
Really?
I mean, yeah, there's not really any way you can do that.
well, I guess not.
Yep. There's a great photo. And that, hear that rattle?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I hope no one heard that cry for help. Yeah, it's of
Suddenly, all of this.
oh shit. Yeah.
Literally, quite literally, the entire set comes alive.
Ugh. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver with the flamethrower, and it's like 11-meter long jet of flame. So yeah, hell has broken loose. They just have infrared. See, she knows what's going on. VP 70. I'm a big nerd. A nice fake out there. So it pans right past it. Because they don't even know what they're supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yikes. Oh, there goes Frost and Dietrich. And he had the bag of ammo, which is on fire. Run away! So, all their badassery for naught.
Mm-hmm.
Say, situation none of them are prepared for.
They still have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like not even the slightest idea. It's just like, we're dying, things are exploding, what's happening? So, Ape Vasquez takes it into her own hands. Shooting at something.
Or nothing.
Yep. Whistling in the dark with a pulse rifle. I need to command this team now. He can't hear shit. Ruh-roh. And dead. So again, his inexperience is just working against him here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he'd probably be a marginal commander at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just calling names. So, she's got to do it herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, wait, what? Haha! Yeah, the music in this movie is sweet. I'm a civilian, you dumbass. He just stuffs him into a closet or something. So again, like she's probably had experience driving stuff like this, but it's like probably handles like a pig, and she's stressed out, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we're doing this. Boom. Extraction point. So he just ditches all his gear. Switch to flamethrower. Everybody's so moist in this movie. Yikes. I like how those flamethrowers do more damage to the team than they do to the aliens.
Yeah.
They're just like this horrible liability. One of the few times that line is used in context. Get us the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Gorman desperately trying to be useful. Oh, and he's out.
Yep. Noble effort.
It's good you tried. Oh, fudge. I'ma get you. Crunch.
It's impressive how well this scene, or this entire action sequence, works, because as chaotic as it's supposed to be, and how good a job it does at communicating the just absolute chaos that's occurred, you never at a loss for what is actually going on, right?
Yeah, because I mean, like, a lot of action sequences will use like too much shaky cam to make it seem more exciting, but it's actually like you're just obfuscating what's happening, like what's going on. You can have a chaotic scene without it being like a complete visual mess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually very calculated, like what is moving around rapidly, and it needs to like move around but still make it clear what's happening. Otherwise it's just like, I don't know what's going on. I should be excited, but I don't know why.
That entire sequence was about 5 minutes long.
Yep. It's about as long as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
CN20. Right? They're like, would it work? Or are we just going to poison ourselves? Classic. Here comes the red tape.
Mm-hmm.
Good backpedaling.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is a character that turns up quite frequently in James Cameron movies. Burke's character, the essentially irredeemably villainous
Bureaucrat?
yeah
Yeah.
or like very similar to Billy Zane's character in Titanic,
Mm-hmm.
right? His villains are pretty one-dimensional. Like, Burke is not a person with complex motivations.
No, but that can work.
Yeah. He's just a weasel.
Yeah. Super Weasley. Just parrots everything she said. Yeah, I like this guy. All right, so we just got to leave this planet and we'll be fine. Apon's pearl-handled 45.
Hmm.
The fuck's this?
Marine's not good at internal communications.
Yeah, not very. You know, they probably landed quite a ways away, which gives you an idea of how far this problem has spread.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in for a landing. What kind of a name is Spunkmeyer?
German?
I guess so. Rutrow. Gun, get gun, gib gun. Too late.
Jibbed.
At least I can keep the window clean. She's like, oh, fuck. You know, the Marine Squad is, what, like about 40% women in this movie?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's largely uncommented on.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, they make one crack about it at the beginning, and then that's it. The rest of the time, they're just characters. They're not like, well, there's no the girl character in here.
No. Their armor doesn't have boobs molded onto it.
Yeah. This section ad-libbed. Wait for it.
We're in some real fruity shit now.
Fruity shit. Better just stomp this fire out. Very astute, Newt. Yeah, I think that section was ad-libbed. They're just like, just freak out.
Yeah.
Okay, game over, man. Classic quotable lines. Is that the moon?
I guess it would have to be another... No, wait. This planet has, like, a twin star, I think.
Huh.
It is a moon around a gas giant, right? But in the first movie, they make some comment about, like, perpetual twilight.
Yeah. I like how he has a hasp just riveted to his armor with a padlock on it. Don't touch it. Yeah. So they take stock of what they have left in terms of materials and be like, well, how are we going to survive?
Yeah.
Another bit that was cut.
And another excellently chosen cut.
Yeah.
Something that absolutely should have been cut.
Yeah. We'll see that in a bit. 17 days. Ugh. This freak out here is great because he was the one who was posturing the most at the beginning, just being like, yeah, I'm the greatest and I'm going to kick everybody's ass. And he's like, oh, shit.
I like the camera shots here, like the camera work. It's right up in their faces.
Yeah. Like she's not quite talking down to him, but she's like, "Look, get your head screwed on straight, or we're dead.
And here's a job.
Here's a job. Put your mind to that, and you will be useful." Just hanging out. He said, looking squirrely again. I love those structures. Gawking like a kid. I love the giant chunky sort of controller for the map.
Mm-hmm.
Also, where do you suppose they got that can't be a TV set. I wonder if this is rear projection.
Yeah, I assume it's a rear projector.
Because, they couldn't just get like an LCD panel because they didn't exist. This is in 86? Yeah. This is probably like a sheet of glass or something that they would just project from behind.
Yep. This part, again, cut.
Yeah. I think they kept a little bit of this.
No, yeah, they cut after she says, well, plate steel here,
Yeah.
here, and here, and they cut out the part where she's like, that way they can only come at us through these two things.
Yeah. So, they have a plan. They work it out. And it doesn't quite go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a part that they cut. All this like turret stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an XLR he just plugged into
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Nice. Some things are universal.
Like these sentry guns are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're super cool. But like this whole sequence just adds nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're digging in. We get that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like maybe if they had even just kept those, like kept the sentries in up to this point, but they get in some other way.
It's like they're going right past the sentries. They're not even firing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Oh, that'll come in handy later.
But like the payoff for the sentry guns does not work at all.
Yeah. So like you have a very subtle little bit of flirtation there, but it's not like, it's never really overbearing. It's kind of implied that they develop a fondness for one another, but no more than would be warranted by the situation. It's like, we're still getting fucking attacked here.
Yeah.
But I like you.
Yeah, I'm attracted to you.
Maybe if we're alive later, we could go out for coffee or something.
Mm-hmm. This is a stressful situation.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit that I thought they should have left cut near the end where they actually they get more explicit with that, where they exchange first names just before she goes off on her like big mission. I was like, no, you don't need to go that far. It's implied well enough.
Although I do really like that Hick's first name is Dwayne.
Ellen and Dwayne. No monsters inside your severed head.
Like, Wayne is a fine name, but could we add more Dwa?
It's kind of like, it is pretty humorously dorky. Is that a heater?
Yeah.
Right, because like the central heating must be fucked.
Mm-hmm. Also, a Wayland Yutani branded heater.
Wayland Yutani branded everything. There are actual monsters. Sorry to tell you. Spoopy. Did they cut this bit? I don't remember this. Okay, so it's just like a little bit more bonding.
We're going to... Yeah, that's why it was cut, because they cut out Ripley's daughter entirely.
Right. So this scene wouldn't have worked. I don't
And
know
also
that they
it's
even...
a bit awkward to draw
Yeah.
like the explicit parallel between like...
It's like, no, we get it already. You don't need to have her say it. This is important, though.
Yes.
Because like this says way more than, that whole sequence did. Because it's like, I care about you enough to give you this bracelet that Hicks gave me to keep track of me, so I can keep track of you in case you go missing again, which you will.
Yeah.
It's just like set up, payoff, set up, payoff. That's how you do. Not like my daughter. I won't go to sleep for 60 years. Too spoopy for me.
Weird things we teach children.
I
What does that even mean?
don't know. Just like, no, it's a real serious business.
Yeah,
thing
I
to
guess
say.
so. It's
like, no, I really mean it. Boop. Did she just boop her head?
Yeah, she did.
That's super cute.
It is.
Yeah, also that scene just sort of goes on a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
Cool wristband.
See, this is something I don't really like. The theorizing about the alien.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the alien as a hive insect. Because I think it robs it of a lot of its otherworldliness. That they're like, oh, it's like a bee or an ant.
Yeah. Or like a termite or something.
Yeah, with a queen that lays eggs that the workers come back and immobilize.
Yeah, because then they have a context to understand it by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just... It's too familiar, I think.
Oh.
Like, the queen is really well designed. She
Oh,
looks
yeah.
awesome.
And it's
it leads
cool.
to a great action sequence. But I would rather have had that in a different movie.
Yeah. Oh, also, here we go. So now you start to realize that maybe Bishop isn't the bad guy here. Wow. Okay, so now he's transparently sketchy. Here we go. Uh-oh, red-handed.
Yep. Right. So Ripley turns up, gets interviewed, debriefed. Burke immediately sends people out.
Yeah.
Probably before even his higher ups became aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we get the timeline.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has the feel of a social climber. He's just like, yeah, this is going to be the thing that makes my career.
Mm-hmm.
I can, be a... Ugh. It's like, why won't you be my ally in my great plan to be the greatest? Really? Last chance? Okay. I guess I gotta kill you. Ah, yes. This is the part that they cut.
Right. So remember those totally sweet robot sentries?
Yep.
We're going to watch this.
We're gonna watch numbers go down. Like, I guess the intent of the scene was to just, like, further emphasize like their overpowering numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like we already know that. Excuse me. Look at this totally sweet UI I designed. Clunk. Oh, right. So yeah, you shorthand the explanation here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's like, look at this thing. He's like, how long before it blows? It's like we already know what's at stake here. It's
Yeah.
like, remember that thing we talked about earlier with the guns? Why you shouldn't shoot?
Mm-hmm.
How Apone sort of screwed us all by accident? So now they have an additional timeline that they can't deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking out again. The voice of unreason here.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop tries to say, I'll go like 4 times. I'm also not a bad guy. She's like, all right, okay. Why would you pick that up with your bare hands? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's actually kind of a nice little subtle touch. He's just like picks up this freshly welded thing and doesn't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this little detail here.
Yeah.
Flashlight. Here's your gun. Fuck it. It's a little concern. It's kind of nice. So that is a spooky shot.
Yeah.
Looks like an Aphex Twin album cover.
Yeah.
So this is the part where Bishop's ambiguity as a character sort of comes to light, that he's actually maybe a good guy.
Yeah.
And Burke, not so much. It's like the bit in Terminator 2 where Arnold says, get down.
Yeah.
And then you find out who's who.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of this scene shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not a fan of this like frenetic cutting.
Yeah. It's just not a very interesting scene.
No, and it's trying to be more interesting than it is.
That just watching these meters tick down is actually really dull.
Yeah. Oh, good. We have 10 rounds left. So, like, that's the payoff, is that they haven't been able to come in past the guns, and they're looking for an alternative. What's with these shallow coffee cups?
Oh, I never noticed that before. Her pearl or ivory handled pistol.
Yep. I think it's a Colt 45. Stopping power.
Huh.
I'm gonna punch you. Mm-hmm. That's how much I care about you. I'll shoot you if you get alienified. Ba-boom. So he shows her how to use this because, you know, why not? Have one more person that sort of knows how to operate one of these. And it comes in very handy later. So again, it's like you have to establish a character's able to do something before they do it. Or, you know, have a reason they're able to work it out in a big hurry. Right, because like Ripley's never fired a gun before, probably. Show me it all. Oh, trigger discipline already. Love it. Oh, hi, Gorman. A hangover from being decked in the head. Not interested in your excuses. I'm just going to go check up on Newt. Nice and easy. Where the fuck is she? Well, that's bad. Oh. I guess she sleeps under the table more effectively. Phew. It's probably her preferred method of sleeping. It's just like, I can't sleep in a regular bed. Those things are out there. Meanwhile, down by the atomic pile. I'm wondering if those are luminescent cables that he's got there. Activate the gunship. Man, that guy types fast. Did I doze off? Huh. Checks her watch. Uh-oh. I know what those are. We are in deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my gun? Oh, fuck. So this wasn't an accident.
No.
Not at all. Ruh-roh. That'll stop it. Ugh. Spider crab. And of course the door's locked. Huh, how about that? Oh, I love this. No sound from the other side. Because it's a med lab, so of course it's soundproofed. Just left frustratingly on the counter there. Oh, this is cold as ice. Just shuts it off. Huh! Once again, without saying anything, you know what's up and who's up with it.
That maybe if your movie requires a lot of explanation, you aren't doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Like if your storytelling techniques aren't doing a good job of telling your story.
Yeah, this is the reason like I hate exposition so much, is because like it's bad storytelling.
Yeah. Well,
occasionally you do have to explain things, but
yes, but like exposition dumps are almost by definition an admission that your storytelling has failed.
yeah. You're just like, I couldn't infer this through visuals, so I just need someone standing there telling you what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
it's really
isn't-
it's really insulting to the audience.
Right. But in some cases, like show don't tell actually doesn't work.
Yeah,
Right? There are
occasionally.
cases where telling people is actually entirely valid. Like the entire concept of a soliloquy is telling, right? And it's very valid, and it's led to some of the best writing in the English language.
Clever girl. Ripley is such a resourceful character.
Mm-hmm.
You might say she's a fixer.
Yes. That Ripley is actually kind of defined by her resourcefulness. Rather
Yeah,
than
that's her character.
Rather than her kind of like strength or like skill with a weapon. It's
Yeah.
that she is
Like
kind of like highly intelligent and competent.
yeah, well, it's like she may not have the most training or expertise, but like she's got the guts to try things.
Right. Which
know.
is kind of one of the themes of this movie. That if
Yeah.
you can't fight the alien with, or if you can't fight the things that scare you with guns, you have to use something else.
Yeah. Jamp. Yeah, I get to be a badass. I'm gonna waste all my ammo. So 3 people struggling with this thing managed to get it off. Because it's probably like a python.
Mm-hmm.
Teamwork. Also, Gorman trying to redeem himself here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also like how like Vasquez fires one burst.
Yeah, as like a contrast. It's like she's way more in control of the situation than Derp. The first words she wheezes out is his name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, assuming we all lived in the first place. Dumbass. That moist lip.
Mm.
Dog meat. Dig in. Flail, flail, flail. Bam. Uh-oh. You're emergency lights for mood. Also like how it's never explained how they cut the power. They're just like, what? How did they do that? They figured it out.
That it's a clear indicator of intelligence and
Yeah.
kind of understanding. Like the aliens know that we need this.
Yeah, it's like, and that makes it more scary because like they seem really animalistic and yet they act with such intent.
Mm-hmm. That first off, they try this blind attack into the robot sentries.
That doesn't work.
Then they try at a different place, but it's like they're caught, and then they retreat in response.
Yeah,
And now,
they
But
have a
see,
plan
like-
that works.
I think I figured out what I dislike about the robot sentry scenes.
What's that?
Is that there are 4 confrontations with the alien here in this movie. The first one is like this very macho fight that goes extremely badly. The second is this one,
Yep.
which is a retreat. The third is Ripley's rescue of Newt. And the fourth is the battle with the Queen.
Yeah.
Spoilers, by the way. So in each time, human resourcefulness and courage is critical. Like, it's the deciding factor.
Yeah.
Right? Like, intent is very important. So that you have to be able to confront the things that scare you with a certain mindset.
Yeah.
And the only time that they encounter any kind of success is when they're acting out of a place of, like, devotion or valor. Or you can shoot them with robots.
Yeah.
That works too.
So another reason to cut it.
Is that it is like a thematic misstep.
So here's another like situation where the helplessness is really underscored because it's like, how are they getting in?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've walled ourselves in and they're still coming. This is impossible.
Yeah, that they're moving, like, they aren't even being slowed down by any of their attempts to protect themselves.
Yeah.
That this is another way you can't fight the things that scare you. You
Yeah.
can't hide from it.
Yeah. And so then, oh, this reveal is so good. Yeah. In the room. So where are they? And just that slow look up. And everybody else is like, oh, fuck. You don't want to go up there. Turn and shit. And he just like falls down blazing.
I like, that's a very graceful way of doing that. That the facility is working against you, right? That you've forgotten the fact that ceiling tiles are just dropped from the actual ceiling.
Yeah. And it's a simple enough thing to overlook. And so you notice how she struggles with like the safety right at the last minute there? Because like she literally just learned to use this weapon. And she's able to do it, but not without difficulty. Phew, I'm safe. So he's a total badass, when the enemy is right there in front of him. Brarg.
Another thing that I've noticed is that everyone in this movie who tries to be brave dies almost instantaneously.
Oh, wow, you're right.
The only person it works for is Ripley,
Yeah. Doof.
who isn't doing it for herself.
I wonder how did that effect of melting the lock off. Maybe they actually just got a IRL blowtorch. La 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 la. Ooh, that was scary. Welp. Mumble mumble just desserts.
The door they're trying to get into is now like knocking back.
Yeah. Also, even Newt, the like ostensibly most helpless character in the movie, actually ends up bailing them out and being useful. You know, like any character, no matter how small, can have agency in the movie and be useful, you know, if you write it that way.
Well, and also that they're using the facility in the same way the aliens are using it now.
Yeah, like the location is just really important. Like it's almost a character in itself. It's not just a series of boxes that the story takes place in. Like it actually has, you know, not quite a personality, but like a function for the story. And you know, the path of the retreat is being established way earlier by Newt, because this is how she got around in the first place. So they're using the way she survived to get away.
Also, I think this scene really contradicts one of the lessons that people try to take away from this movie, that you don't show the alien or you don't show the monster very much, because we're actually seeing it quite a bit.
Yeah.
We get a few really clear looks at it.
It's pretty
Again,
brief, but like
Vasquez tries to be brave.
yeah.
And
Stop the
in
power.
like seconds.
Ow. Gorman, gonna be brave. Again, redeeming himself at the cost of his own life, but better late than never. You know, because he feels like he has a lot to answer for because he fucked up, you know, in commanding the unit.
Right.
It's like, well, I can at least try and save one person. Well, I fucked that up too. At least I tried. Wow. Yeah, all right. That is some grenade. Whoops. Almost. Crap.
Whoops.
Slip and slide.
Like this is actually a fairly important recurring theme in a lot of haunted house movies, that the house, regardless of like the spirits or whatever, the monster inside of it, the house itself keeps conspiring against you. Right? And if we look at this similar to like the Nostromo in Alien, which is so full of like this chaotic crap that it actually conceals the monster from its from the people who make it their home.
Yeah, it's like claustrophobic, and you know the aliens are able to blend in with the background.
Here, the actual like smoothness of the corridors actually works against them.
Yeah, it always it's always blocking the heroes and providing ingress to the
monster.
The antagonists. Mumble mumble home turf. Not actually, but they've made it their home turf. So like the heroes are always at a disadvantage and I think as he said earlier, it's like through their valor that they are able to know any measure of success.
But it isn't even like straight valor, right? Because like Hudson was valorous, right? Gorman was like, he acted in self-sacrifice, right, to try to protect Vasquez, who had also just finished being all valorous up in.
Yeah.
So, like, what allows Ripley to succeed where everyone else who tries to be brave is instantaneously murdered? Very cool effect there with the tail.
Oh, shit. Crunch. And doll head.
How many times do you think they needed to do this so the doll head sank exactly as its eyes closed?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Man, they must have done a lot. Yeah, so the one character in the movie that Ripley cares enough about and has enough of a personal connection with to have that reaction.
Mm-hmm. So is it the personal connection?
I don't know, what do you think?
Well, Gorman is an outsider who doesn't really have much of a personal stake.
Yeah.
Or who doesn't really care.
Well, I mean, the scenes that we saw with them together, they formed like a personal relationship to sort of give her that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, more reason why having, the scene with her daughter at the very beginning is, it gives her precedent. It's like she wants to, make up for missing her 11th birthday.
Right. Whereas Gorman wants to make up for, like, leading the Marines into a slaughter.
Yeah.
But, like, similar motivations of redemption and protecting someone lead to drastically different results. And is it just because Ripley is the hero?
We don't know.
Like, my question is, what is this movie really trying to say here? Because as I think it was Movie Bob who said, if your movie has a plot, it has a theme. So what is the theme of this? Even if you're just like doing it as an excuse to make cool space guns, which a lot of action movies are.
Yeah.
Right? It's still the framework that it occurs in, the context it occurs in, still says something whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
And I don't think a filmmaker as deliberate as James Cameron makes a movie without a theme, even if the theme is something fairly simple like, I love my mother, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't ever need to be complicated. Okay. Grabs pulse rifle. Oh, did they fix it? They did. In the original cut, she grabs pulse rifle, puts down flamethrower, grabs flamethrower, puts it on pulse rifle. They actually fixed that in this release. Yeah, if you watch the original, there's a continuity error right there. That's kind of neat that they fixed that little error.
One of the artifacts of James Horner having to write this score in a matter of like 2 weeks
Wow.
is the fact that a lot of the musical themes, especially the theme for the alien and this combat or this battle theme here,
Yeah.
is recycled from Star Trek.
Nice. How the hell does that hold 95 rounds? Well, gearing up. All the grenades. Marking flares, just grabs everything she can lay her hands on. The size of Nebraska. Don't be gone long. Yeah, like you said, I like that, his name's Dwayne, but that scene probably didn't need to be there.
No.
Oh, she's back. Last time we heard this woman, she was talking about a ship blowing up.
Yeah.
I like how it's just like this boring old woman just being like, You're gonna die. Everything's fucked.
Do you
No
think
hurry.
automated recordings like that actually exist? That at some point they had to hire like a voice actress to give pre-recorded warnings for Chernobyl.
I don't feel like those actually exist. They're a thing in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's like it sort of made sense in the first one because the ship is so large that you'd want to actually explain what the hell was going on. It's like, oh yeah, we're scuttling the ship, by the way. Get out. Get them nades on. I love how she just makes a super gun.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also a detail I really appreciate here is that there is no one-liner.
No, there isn't, because there's nobody to say it to.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's like James Cameron has a lot of one-liners in his movies.
Yeah.
But this is explicitly not about the one-liner, right? Because the one-liner is a very macho thing.
Yeah. I mean, you get it with a look. That last little bit, she's like, it's just like, what am I doing? This is crazy. But we're committed now.
Mm-hmm.
And just like this sudden unearthly silence. And, we're back to the theme at the beginning where it's just like, where are they? And, having to take this slow progression with, the time ticking away. Ambiguously, they don't have an actual countdown. I mean, she comes on occasionally to say, like, X number of minutes, but you don't see, like, a counter going. Because that always screws up in movies, because you can never time it to the action.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm not sure if you can really time down a reactor melting.
Yeah, it's like,
that kind of precision.
It'll probably, when's it going to blow up? Oh, well, soon? Sooner now?
Yeah, whenever the core struts fail.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, how good is our maintenance record? I like these strike anywhere flares. Little subtle strings of goop. Bleep, bleep. Just gonna blast it. I wonder how much actual fuel a flamethrower that size would carry.
I don't know.
Probably actually just a couple of seconds worth. Because like an actual World War II flamethrower with the backpack held, I think, 9 seconds worth of fuel. Yeah, not much. Also, possibly more of a liability than they were worth.
Well, they're utterly terrifying.
Yep. Yeah, I guess I wonder why they. I mean, it's a sweet effect in this movie. Maybe that's the only reason they brought the flamethrower back, and also as a reference to the first movie. Because like in the first movie, it's a tool that they might conceivably have had on hand or would be able to cobble together. In this movie, it's like more intentional, like a military style flamethrower.
Yeah. Whereas I'm not certain that like Marine Corps rifle sections carry around flamethrowers.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's a real thing.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's a bug hunt, so it's like,
well, maybe it is. They do seem to be kind of familiar
situation.
with that kind of situation.
Yeah.
We have to go and kill like this greebly weird thing.
Ew. Gross.
It's apparently full of like
Bento?
rice noodles.
Rice noodles? Really?
Oh no, I have no idea.
It's probably.
I know the one in Alien was full of chicken breasts.
Ew. So now nothing like a good auditory confirmation. Eat it. Phew. Let's take out these custodians. Let me get this Stretch Armstrong off you. Gross.
One possible reason I think I'm okay with them having cut Ripley's daughter
Uh-huh.
is because it adds in the subtext that Ripley needs to redeem herself for a failing as a mother, which has some interesting, like, well, not interesting, but like problematic political implications.
Really?
Well, Ripley's a working woman who failed as a mother, and therefore has to go back and like make good on that.
Yeah, I can see why you would want to cut that. I mean, maybe, it could be more like she failed her crew in the first movie. Oh boy. Effective use of silence. Blorp.
See, this is just, even in spite of this is a bit too familiar. It's too recognizable as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Well, yeah, it's obviously like a termite queen or an ant queen.
yeah. Whereas in the first movie, the alien was very alien. You didn't know what it was doing. Its motivations were obscure.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, oh, it's going to grab you and bring it back to its nest
To
make more of
use you to
itself.
procreate. It has twice as many arms as the other ones.
Even though this design is totally sweet.
Yeah, no, the monster design is cool as shit. And it works. But oh, those translucent teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And again, literally without anything being said, this negotiation that takes place here.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, she can't talk to them, but she communicates with them through action. As we will see in a moment. It's like, hello, you are in my domain. I possess the fire. No. Yeah, I'm going to do that on your eggs. You get it? Very well. Leave this place. My acolytes shall stand down. Begone! I mean, how lame would that be with actual dialogue?
Yeah.
Ooh!
Cool.
It just speaks in like a horrible modulated voice. Okay, everybody be cool.
We're cool.
Be cool.
I'm going to be cool.
Yeah.
You be cool. We're all cool.
Oh.
One of your babies
It's like-
is not cool.
Bitch, seriously? No! And she just unloads. Berserker mode. That frustrating time where you like crit the boss with all your most powerful attacks and it's still alive.
Yep.
Or it just goes to its next sequence and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
fuck.
I used all my expendables.
Newt still being useful.
Booker, catch.
Well, let's fire all these grenades. See ya.
This isn't even my final form, etc.
Detach. Ew. So, without those flares, it's not really that believable that she could wind her way back through this maze.
Yeah.
So, like, that cool thing is actually serving a role. It's like, okay, I know where to go because I left breadcrumbs.
I do like that there's kind of an implied, like, heavy depletion in the number of aliens. that fighting the Marines actually did kill quite a large number of them, because we only see about 4 or 5 of them in that sequence.
Yeah.
Whereas you think right now that this place would just be like,
Crawling with them.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's maybe one of the reasons they put in the scene with the turrets, but, like, it's still not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Although one of the reasons that those scenes did come back was that they had to cut out, when this was shown on American television, they understandably had to cut out quite a lot of it, right, to get it past the censors. And
I can't even imagine how you would accomplish that.
yeah, it wound up being like unshowably short, right? So they had to add in a bunch of other stuff that had been previously cut. Things like the robot sentries.
Yeah.
So those were originally first seen on the on broadcast television.
Yeah. It's like, how do they even deal with, like, what happens to Bishop at the end? Like, that's uncuttable.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Running out of ammo because she used it all. Instead of just when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I seem to be out of ammunition at this juncture of the plot. Oh, again, the sort of, like, primal intelligence that's like, huh. Little head turn like a dog.
Mm.
So you have, like, a little bit of camera shake here, but it's not, like, the shaky cam. Also,
No.
uh-oh, where's the ship? Oh, that's... She mad. I'd be mad.
I would be... I'm not even sure I'd be capable of anger at this
You
point.
just be like...
Just collapse and start crying.
Yep.
Too exhausted. to
You
even
had
find words.
one job! Well, at least I can do this. So we've run the character up a tree, thrown rocks at her, and set it on fire. I'll just let her sweat for a minute.
And again, this shot here, the darkness in the elevator.
Oh, yeah, I love this. And just like the little wisp of smoke that comes up, and then whoosh. Hello. Oh, that's good. And handy. Oh, Bishop, we are going to have words. Run away.
That's an odd thing to show. Why
Yeah,
did they show that?
I wonder why they would show the landing gear getting jammed for a minute. Huh. It's probably nothing.
Yeah. That's weird. It's covered in crap.
Wank. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Must go faster. Must go faster. I wonder how they did that effect.
I don't know. It's actually kind of fun to go back and think about how all
Well,
these
yeah, like, how did they do this with no CG?
necessarily practical effects
Right?
were done.
Mm-hmm. There was a movie I saw once where they simulated nuclear explosions, like the mushroom clouds, by getting a tank of distilled water and firing little slugs of dye into it so that they would
Oh, really?
mushroom outwards. And then they filmed it upside down at like a really high frame rate and then just superimposed it in the background.
Huh.
Because they wanted, like, they couldn't figure out how to do it because they couldn't use footage from actual tests because everybody knows what those explosions look like.
Right.
So they made their own. I don't know how good they looked, but
No, that's very clever.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel good. Well, all's well that ends well.
Okay, so we've seen so far 3 confrontations with the alien. So far, going in all guns blazing and turgid hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
Digging in and hiding hasn't worked. But it seems that like going into protecting and rescue like an innocent has worked, right? So maybe it's self-sacrifice that's the theme here.
Huh, what's that? Ooh!
Nope. Actually, spoke too soon. Didn't work at all.
Milk, it does a body good.
This is just like Kenny Rogers' Jackass.
So they have this astonishingly gruesome scene.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Whee! Very iconic, too. Because, then you're able to show just how dangerous this thing is and what's waiting for her if she falters. Running away. Back into the underground. Doesn't matter where she is. She's now going to be like running in tunnels for the rest of her life. GTFO! I was hoping this thing can't sprint very fast.
Maybe it just has bad leg cramps after being gooped up to an OVA positive for the last 6 months.
It's like, okay, now what? Let's try that. I'm just, maybe I'll just play dead. That galvanized iron or steel or something.
What a great sound effect. The stomping.
Yeah, like the stomping on that metal. Peekaboo. So we really see her means of evading the aliens in practice here. What's that? Dramatic backlighting.
Chekhov's power loader.
Wait, what? Oh, right, yeah. Although it's like, if you were seeing this movie for the first time, you'd maybe not even expect this.
Yeah.
Because it's not a weapon.
Yeah. And then there we do get a one-liner.
But it's not just like, I'm cool. It's like, no, fuck off. You're going to fight me. Pow. A sick right hook, bro. Backhand.
I like how she gives it the Starfleet hammer punch here. Oh, no, wait. When does she do that?
I don't know.
Because at some point she actually just like comes down on it.
I don't remember. It's a good thing that cage is there. The thing that would save you from falling girders or crates is holding you in good stead.
Mm-hmm.
Grar. So this is cool. She activates.
It's got like a Bluetooth.
Yeah, because
to the ship.
that would be a useful thing to have on a power loader. Is just be able to like, oh, I need to get through this door, but I don't want to get out of my stupid loader to open it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just activate it on remote. And hey, a blowtorch. Why not? Down you go. Uh-oh. Can you imagine how terrifying that would be? Like just being strapped into that much weight and just toppling.
Yeah. But actually fairly handy because the power loader is like pinning the alien.
Yeah,
I never noticed that before.
that it's pinning.
No, the spear tip is broken off the end of the...
I did not notice that.
Her tail is all busted.
All right, YOLO. That seemed to work pretty good in the first movie, so... Yeah, and like this hatch is there for a reason. Like it's for loading from the exterior when you would be in a spaceport or something. Ow. The strongest shoe in the world.
Strongest elbow in the world.
Yeah. Like this is a little goofy. I guess it's like maybe gravity gets a little weird as you approach the exterior of the ship. The suspension of disbelief is probably at its highest there.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm fine with that. That's...
Bishop manages to be useful even though he's in half.
A crate of ammo misses Ripley's head by about 2 inches.
Woo! It's the nice close-ups on the like claw grip. Get your leg in, get your leg in, get your leg in. There you go. It's over. Win the winner.
I like the smear across the...
Yeah, because
the
he
floor of the
like
hangar.
slid.
This is so full of really good details.
Yep. And this is the first time she just calls her mommy.
Yeah.
Another one-liner. It's like, apropos of what, Bishop? I do not feel good.
Yeah. Seriously, though, could we get me to a mechanic?
Hopsital, please.
Hopsital, please.
Gib wrench.
Need Hopsital.
Oh, right. They just, like, stick him in this plastic bag with, like, an IV of
Like
mayonnaise.
synthetic goop.
Yep. He'll be fine. Go to sleep. Derp, derp, derp.
Made Newt take a bath before getting into for sleep.
Of course.
Because, let's be honest here, little kids smell terrible.
Gross. Yep. And we're going to go home and be happy, and it will be great.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fucking headcanon.
But, I mean, I kind of like Alien 3. It works as well. It's just not as a good sequel to this movie.
Yeah. I've actually not seen it the whole way through. Like, I've actually only seen bits of it, so...
All the Alien movies, well, Aliens and Alien 3, I think, work as movies in their own right, just not as sequels to Alien or Aliens.
I can see that. We don't talk about the fourth one.
Well, that was just bad because...
It was
Yeah.
bad. Well, Jean-Pierre Jeunet tried to make a movie in America, and they wouldn't let him make a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, God damn it. The end!
Yay! So, yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Tip Tipping?
Wow.
Seriously? Louise Head. Kiran Shah. They had 2 doubles for her.
Well, the first one was killed.
Yeah. Remember when, was it?
When Hicks shoots
Yeah,
at her.
Hicks blasts her. And
Yeah.
no, she actually died.
Yeah.
They're like, whoops. I knew we shouldn't have. Oh, Sid Mead worked on this?
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, of course he... No, I should have known that. Sid Mead, who worked on also Star Wars?
And Blade Runner? Question mark?
I think so. He's worked on, like, all these...
And any sci-fi movie that looks cool
Yeah.
probably involves Sid Mead at some point.
Yeah, or Giger or Mobius.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here's our H.R. Giger memorial viewing of Aliens.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna miss you.
Mm-hmm. You weird Swiss fuck.
I guess we'll see him again in...
Prometheus?
Oh.
Yes. coming to you
Next. I guess
Next.
that's the next one we're going to do. We're just going
Yeah.
to skip over 2 movies and go right for the throat.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite a different review than this one.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting nonetheless, because you can learn a lot from a really shitty movie.
Yeah. Just how
Like a
not
lot.
to do things.
It's like, see this?
And it's-
Don't do this.
It's also rare to see a movie like Prometheus that does almost everything wrong.
Yeah, like we don't like that movie, but we're going to spend 2 hours telling you why
Yeah.
we don't like it. So,
Ugh. All right.
all right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us
Yeah.
on this inaugural podcast for the newly renamed
Corrector's Commentary.
Corrector's Commentary.
I've been Alex.
And I have been Cameron.
So until next time, watch
Happy-
movies.
Yeah, happy viewing.